Hey everyone, hope you are enjoying our previous classes. So today we are going to learn about conditional prompt, creative and hypothetical scenario, contextual prompt, formatting constraint, comparative analysis, simulation and role playing. So stay connected and enjoy the session.
Okay, so now let's move to the conditional prompts. What exactly the conditional prompt is and how it is useful. Now, conditional prompts always used in machine learning based on the context, and it is like in a large language model where there are multiple machine learning logics are there, which are AI means which is driving the AI and guiding the general process or the generation process. It need more specific conditions which will be filtered out the unnecessary data. Okay. And it will detect the exact what you are looking for, the exact output. Let it be somebody is looking some actors. Okay. Now he don't know about Hollywood or Japanese movies or Iranian movies. He asked, can you give me some actor name? Immediately GPT gave them names which are not known to him. That means his context is missing. But if he can put the condition, give the actors if they are working in Hindi industry or Bollywood. So you put a condition, it will filter out. Then it will put who have more than 5 blockbusters or who have movies which are did business more than 100 crores. Then you can put more condition. At least 20 blockbusters should be there. Or movies which are earning more than 100 crore, at least 20s. Like that, you put the condition. So the system slowly filtering out this unnecessary stuff and give you exact what you are looking at the output. Okay. So the most important in this conditional is guidance. The prompt should be guide that towards the goal. Okay. So like the example here, it is saying, write a poem in the style of Shakespeare. So Shakespeare has their own style of uh, language writing, which is not very similar to your classical English. So the English currently we are using, Shakespeare using some different kind of style of grammar. So it will use that model and generate a language or generate a output which is very similar to Shakespeare poem and make contextual. It's already we learn the keyword is specific. Whenever you're doing prompting, you have to be very specific. Similarly, you have to be very contextual when you are doing these conditional approaches. It has flexibility and specificity, and it also control the mechanism because we are putting the filter conditions. So we are controlling the mechanism. These are the benefits in conditional prompts. The very common example or application of conditional prompts are chatbots and virtual assistants. Okay. Content creation, like writing, codes, arts, because conditional prompts mostly used in coding. The programming or technical prompting is mostly used through the conditional prompting. Educational tools, all are used conditional prompting. Now here, the sixth type of prompting. There are 10 type of prompting. Now we are in six, creative and hypothetical scenarios. Creating prompt for AI models that focus on the generating the creative and hypothetical scenarios can be particularly interesting because that is not exist. It is a creative stuff. This prompts is designed to challenge the AI actually ability to generate a coherent, imaginative, and contextual rich scenarios. So you can see like in social media this time, you can find many pictures which are very brainstorming in nature. And it has very spark creative. Okay, why? Because they are using this AI tools to generate those images. And whatever the input you can give, you challenge the AI. I want to develop a human being with a horse face. It can generate that. Okay, whatever you want, it can generate. It is hypothetical scenarios. Okay, and it's generate, mostly it is useful for educational settings because we need different type of designs and research. Like in car research, what should be the look of a car? Previously, there are different tools where we have to do work and develop that picture. Nowadays, in Gen AI, just give the inputs to develop the car looks, and you can see, oh, it looks good. Okay. And if you are more technical, you can give the accurate size, then it can develop the design as well for you. So that is hypothetical scenario. Why hypothetical? In practical world, when we put everything together, if it will not work, we have to change the design. So that's how we call that hypothetical scenarios. Like hypothetical scenarios mostly used in creative storytelling. Okay. Innovative inventions, alternate histories. Why alternate histories? Like, okay, if I'll ask how many, if you answer who is built Qutub Minar, who built Qutub Minar? Any answers from anybody? So most of the people who studies history books, you can find that it was like Qutbuddin Aibak who developed Qutub Minar. But the answer is not correct because Qutub Minar is already there before Qutbuddin Aibak. And more of the historians have the claims that it is a giant temple. Okay. That means we alternate the history. We tweak the history and put something else. If I ask who built the Lal Killa, many people say, oh, Lal Killa is developed by Mughals. But the answer is Lal Killa was known as uh, Purana Killa for a long time and known as Lal Mahal. But after 1960s, they changed the name to Lal Killa and they removed the Lal Mahal. And instead of Purana Killa, they call it Lal Killa. And they change everything in the NCRT. So alternating of the history is also a useful stuff by using Gen AI. But these are wrong things. Futuristic societies. So you can put hypothetically, what should be the futuristic society? Can you give some details? Mythological interactions. You can ask to the, from that, okay, behave like a Greek god. I can ask question. So those things or prompting is happening. Cross-specific communication or utopian or dystopian world. Okay. So you can say, okay, currently we are in a utopian world. What should be the condition of peace and harmony? All these things you can ask, and the GenAI develop from the knowledge and give you some output. Like all these sci-fi movies, advertisements, they use very futuristic stuff. Okay. Now there is a very interesting stuff here, time travel paradox. Do you know what is time travel paradox? Okay, it's a very popular stuff. When we think about time travel, we think that we can go present and future and we can come back to current. Okay. Now let's consider you went to past and kill. Okay, somebody is went its past and kill its grandfather. Is it possible? Well, currently you are present here because of your father, and your father is there because of the grandfather. But somebody went into the past, like you himself go back to your past and kill your grandfather. Is it possible? No. So we cannot go back. As for the science is saying that yes, we can go back. We can go to different times, future and past. So this is called time travel paradox. So till the date, the parallel universe concept was there. We call that time travel paradox is exist. But with the multiverse concept, this paradox is answered. Even if you go back, that's a separate universe. That's a different universe. If you kill there somebody, it will impact in their universe, but not in your universe. Because you are coming back to another universe where you are still living, right? So that parallel universe concept is, again, that's a challenging concept. I'm not going to explain because it will take me to another dimension. So this time travel paradox is also hypothetical. You can create these things. Okay, so these all are, we call that these are um, hypothetical scenarios. Then contextual prompt, already I answered many times. It is related to the specific areas. Okay. AI-driven natural language processing are instructions of queries given AI model that includes a specific context to shape the model response, and these are called contextual prompts. Then we have similarly enhancing the understanding, narrowing the response scope, improving the relevance of coherence. These are the usefulness of the contextual prompt. Okay, but whenever we write the contextual prompt, we have to have focus on three things. First is customer service, second is creative writing, third is technical support. Now, all these three things are included: the instruction, the context, the question. Okay, so question means what exactly we are looking to get the answer. What is the context? Then what should be the technical support we need to give? Like if there is an error when you are executing your Python program, you have to be very clear what error you are getting, at what point you are getting, what should be the technical approach to resolve that. Everything you have to ask. Then the Gen AI automatically answer you back. Okay, do this step 1, 2, 3, 4, then it will be resolved. Be specific, be contextual, may fix your goal, and the instruction, context, and questions will be very clear. Then you will get the correct answer. Like example, somebody did some crime. Okay, it is linked to your IPC. Now, IPC has many laws, but we need to understand what exactly conditions where he did this crime. What should be the response from him? What should be the natural response? How should we be considered? The judgment should be based on these parameters. Okay. Now all these things consider and put a particular IPC on them. So many times you observe that the court is dismissing some cases by considering there are wrong IPC code is applied on a particular person. Why? Because the person who arrested that person may be in a different mode. He don't understand the complexity of this situation. He put a different IPC code. So all these um, are very complex in nature. And if you know the context, it is easier. Like IPC, CRPC, independent code, whatever the laws are there, it has to have very clear to the person who is applying them. That means the contextual approach will be very clean and clear. The areas where we use mostly this is your virtual assistant, call centers, content generation, like writers, okay? Educational tools, obviously, educational tools should be linked to a contextual. As I mentioned, it is always based on a syllabus on particular books. So contextual prompts serve as a bridge between the raw computational ability of AI model and the nuanced required of human language interactions, making AI output more useful, appreciate, and engaging. Next is formatting constraint. In context of computational programming, data management, and documents creating formatting constraint refer to rules of specification that govern the arrangement, appearance, and structure of a data context. These constraints ensure consistency, readability, and completability across various systems and platforms. So if you want to choose a particular color, you have to choose some a particular color. So that means you know the context. Okay, right. If you are trying to make a sea in your painting, you have to choose a particular blue color to put the sea. If you want to make the sky, you have to choose a particular blue for the sky. Based on your um, uh, goal, you have to format your constraint to create the consistency and readability to completely simply give a picture to the platform. So that is the formatting of the constraint. Then the GenAI understand and give you the output. Mostly it is used in programming. Okay, so when we do programming, we have formatting constraint, applying how to code the writing displays. Like intention and white space should be very clear. Variables naming should be very clean, and commenting style should be very clean. Then your program would be very clean in nature. In data entry also, like into the database, you have to be very clear what should be the length of the data type, uh, what should be the data type for which variable, and what should be the masking for the security. So these all are related to your formatting of the data. Document and report creation. So like your front style, your margin, your color scheme, in mostly proposal writing, these are very important stuff. You have to give those instructions to the GenAI. Then only it will generate that kind of proposal, what you are expecting. Web development, obviously, there are front end, back end, CSS design, everything you have to be very clear. Understand the objective, give the layout, colors, and front. HTML style, what should be the style, retrospective design test, and everything you have to be very clean, and you ask to the GenAI. Then for mobile applications, you can UI designing. You have to be understand the layout, grid, iconographic, how big or small the size, what should be the standardization, interaction rules, everything. If you give to the GPT, it will generate the code and give to you. Now, what is the importance of this formatting constraint? It will give you a consistency. Your appearance will be good. The product will be looks good, efficient, and finally, it will be accessible. Like if you are developing a website, the web content accessibility guidelines are there. So you have to ask to the GenAI, follow that guideline. Okay. And it has already known what are the guidelines. Any website should be open within 60 seconds. Any search should be not more than 3 minutes. So everything would be as per the WCAG, web content accessibility. That means the Gen AI is no more than the question which asked him to. Okay. Finally, comparative analysis. Comparative analysis is, as from the name, you can understand it is comparison between two different data sets. And once we give both the data set, we can ask question related to the data set. Mostly it is used in the business analysis and reports. So what is the objective for comparative analysis? First objective would be the defining the object, what exactly you are comparing. Select the comparison items. What are the items you want to compare? Like if you're comparing between India and China, first you understand, okay, we need to compare in 5 stuff. Let it be first is, what is their population? What are their economic policies? What are their military strength? Uh, their future growth in next 50 years. Okay. And finally, their education standards. So you fix the objective, then started comparing. Okay, the item 1, let it be military strength. In military strength, you have to put line items. How many fighter planes are of China, how many fighter planes of India. So those kind of items you fix. Then establish the criteria. Okay, so you need to put more parameters. Even if they have fighter planes, are they advanced in nature? Are they generation 5 or generation 4? If India has generation 4 or 5 fighter planes, if their what is their effectiveness? Are they have air strips which are on ground? Are there air strips which are higher in higher altitude? So all this efficiency and all criteria you can establish. Then collect the data, more data about those fighter planes, which are very classified. Then analyze more, compare and synthesize what are your finding. If there would be hypothetical scenario, you can give also to do the synthesization. And finally, get the result. These are the steps for comparative analysis. It is mostly used in business, education, public policies, and technology. Any questions on comparative analysis? No. Now the last one is simulation and role playing. Like you can see, In childhood time, we play the game called business. There we are big businessmen. We play the big businessman role. We get the money from the bank and we buy, sell, everything we do. So what exactly here is happening? We are doing two things, simulation and role playing. So what is a simulation? Simulation is defining and propose, and then we capture some characteristics. Okay. Similarly, the machine also do the same thing. It will capture some model, and based on that model, it creates the interaction and educational training, okay, and behave like that. Uh, uh, like if I ask to the model, so behave like a risk manager. It will take that role and behave like a risk manager. For that, it get trained, and then it can able to answer. So what are the applications of this? Mostly again in research, like in education, in training, in research, all these segments are very much using the simulations. Like Corona was there. During Corona, we need to develop the medicine. Okay. So we have to do the simulation on that medicine terms. Every time when the medicine is experimented, we have to apply these logics behind that. And the simulation model give whether it is useful or not useful. Okay, apart from real life, we can do that at the labs. Whereas role play, as I mentioned, role play is mostly we have to ask the model to behave in a particular type of characters. And based on that, we ask to do the simulations. And by combining the role play and simulation, we are getting all the benefits like engagement from the simulation and role plays skills. We apply the conditions, and then based on that, we can get the experience or output what exactly we are looking for. Okay, so finally, all these 10 models are over, and we'll proceed further for model development by prompt, and we'll proceed for prompting for image creation. So today, whatever the prompting we discussed, these are related to text generation and text to code generation.
So hope you guys enjoyed our today's session. If you like this video, then do like, share and subscribe our channel.